Hi, it's Diswan here. Welcome to my channel. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of fun with something different today. I'm actually creating my own stencils, so I'm actually making some small ones just to play with it because it was a new toy when I was recording this particular video, and it is a professional USB soldering iron. I've seen a similar idea on another channel, and right this second I can't remember, but I'll put it in down the bottom, as that's where my inspiration came to go looking for a similar tool that isn't available here in Australia. So I got onto Amazon and I found this small USB soldering iron. So it just plugs into a USB slot. It's a little button just above that blue light that's there, so just turn that off. I've sped this up a little bit just to show you what can be done. Now I'm actually having fun, and I'll actually demonstrate that the actual stencils actually work, so that they come up really well. So you're actually creating your own type of marks for your own work. These small ones are probably only good for items such as ATCs. Otherwise you've got to move it a lot and find areas to place it multiple times. So I just thought I'd play and see the limitations you have, like for doing these spirals, for example. You've got to be really careful about your negative space. So it's a case of really thinking about how what you're after, what is needed to allow for, say, that spiral to work. The fact that you actually need a thicker spiral, so you need to make the spiral wider to actually get the best benefit. So here I am deciding on a new shape. So I've been playing with this a little bit, and I've actually played with it more, and I've actually done some larger stencils. I've even used my silhouette to kind of score this particular stencil material because it's actually quite thick. It's probably roughly about a 180 to 200 GSM, so it's actually quite thick, and for some reason my silhouette just will not cut through it unless I do multiple cuts, and even then it's not 100%. So I've had to, and the bonus of this tool, I was actually able to fix the stencils that I created using my silhouette, and even home designed ones, not just using the downloaded stencil materials that I could use. But it was able to finish off where the silhouette had actually already created the line. So I was actually then able to go over those lines and still create a shape. But it also, because you're actually using hand, it will actually give that homemade look, because holding that particular heat tool steady while it's small, if you don't keep there's a little nut on it. If you don't keep it connected properly, it starts to wobble, so that gives you another hurdle with that. But it's fantastic. Like the shapes that you can create, I've made some great little lines there which make great marks. You doing these little ziggy-zag lines, and they're not all straight, they're not all perfect, so those imperfections are really great in making, for example, your own mark making actual stencils. So, and I really had fun making them and trying them out on some deli paper. That again, so I brought the stencil sheets from Amazon, I brought this USB soldering iron on Amazon, and I brought the deli paper on Amazon, and including the fact that now I've also found some tissue paper, so it's actually thinner again than the deli paper. The only thing I have to do with the tissue paper is to do some more experimenting on the usage of it to show. And I'm going to try to create some Diane's tips on how to make some cheaper alternatives maybe, or some more personal, some more of your own artwork to use on your artwork. So basically all of these stencils that I've just created, they're mine. They belong to me. There's no others exactly the same. You know, while you can get so many mark making stencils out there of crosses and circles and stuff, they're not like mine. Mine are different because they're done with my hand. So while I'm not taking someone else's design, I'm creating an idea that's already out there and recreating it my way. So I think this is a great tool to add to your toolkits for mixed media, crafting, acrylic painting, when you're doing some abstract work. It gives you some tools to create some really cool line marking, as this is shown. And as you see, I've sped this up so it's not so long, but it's a case of, look at that, I've now got some green lines on this particular deli paper. So it's a case that this particular deli paper can now be used and glued on, torn up and used as a background piece of deli paper or tissue. So it's actually, I'm making my own background tissue to use in my artwork. So, and like in this method here, I'm just using up the rest of the paint rather than using, and I've heard a lot of crafters say they have a leftover journal. They actually have a journal where they put all their leftover paints and etc. on. Why not use tissue paper, deli paper, or even just printing paper as that particular format, as your leftover journal as such, because then you have the means to tear that up and use it as background collaging. So just a few ideas there. So I think I'm going to work on a series like this with tips and ideas for making some crafting ideas, making some ideas easier, maybe helpful. If you like them, that's great. So without going into any more depth, as you can see now, I'm using archival inks through it and using those like toothbrush makeup brushes to actually put the ink through onto the already pre-painted deli. Look at that. It's amazing what can be done with just your already supplies you've got, as in the acrylic paints and your archival inks, and now using homemade stencils as the actual mark making tool. So I can use that, and I've actually created with these particular deli papers a actual journal spread, and that'll be in another video coming soon. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular video, and I will leave a link below on how and where to purchase if you're interested. There's no money, I will make no money from this. You can purchase the deli paper, the tissue paper, the stencil material, and the USB soldering iron if you'd like to experiment with these particular ideas and tips. So from me to you, happy crafting, happy art making, and I look forward to having you follow my channel a little bit further. So take care, bye.